And I wish people would look at the fact that you have a president of the United States who consistently is obsessing over two women of color that are members of the House. You are the president. You have a lot more power than we do, but obviously you consistently feel threatened, and that is why we have seen, the attacks on black women in general from this administration. I don't know what black woman hurt him in his past, honey.
If I'm the brother of Jasmine Crockett, or I'm cousin Crockett, hell, if I'm Davy Crockett, I would be embarrassed. I would be humiliated to be associated with Jas Crockett. I will give Jas Crockett a little bit of credit here. That was one of the first times that I have seen Jas Crockett smile. Of course, Kaitlan Collins, Katie Roo, Katie Roo. Of course, the girl named Roo wasn't smiling, which I can't really blame her. If I were forced to inhale these toxic mouth farts, I would not be in the mood to be smiling either. But seriously, this is one of the first times that I have seen Jasmine Crockett smiling. This is one of the first times that I've seen her and she wasn't yelling, she wasn't angry, she wasn't bitter. Have you noticed this unredeeming quality in woke women? And this is especially true with woke white women, who I believe are rapidly becoming one of the biggest threats to America. Have you noticed that woke women are always angry? Have you noticed that woke women are always bitter? This is what happens when you allow yourself to be infected with the woke fungus. It is designed to seek and destroy. I don't understand why establishment Democrats, I don't understand why moderate Democrats have allowed their party to be destroyed by these unhinged maniacs. Either one of two things are true here. Either Democrats are incredibly stupid, or maybe they're just terrified of the radical base that has consumed the party, or they are actively trying to destroy the country. Whatever the case, and it's probably a combination of both, the woke fungus has destroyed the Democratic Party. To be honest with you, I think it might be too late for Democrats to recover. If I'm a moderate Democrat, if I'm Uncle Fester John Fetterman or Josh Shapiro, Bill Maher, normal people, people with actual jobs, people who don't waste their life trying to destroy what everyone else has built, people who aren't in a full-blown panic right now because their welfare is expiring in less than 36 hours. If I'm a moderate Democrat, I'm either becoming an independent or I'm becoming a Republican. And I'm starting to wonder if CNN has come to this same realization. I'm starting to wonder if CNN has realized that embracing the woke wiener is equivalent to embracing bankruptcy. This week, I have seen some very unusual behavior from CNN. Not only are they publicly humiliating Jas Crockett by fact-checking her on live television, well, I guess I should say Katie Roo Collins was adding to the public humiliation of Jas Crockett. As you guys know, Jas Crockett embarrasses herself every time she opens her mouth and unleashes that toxic gas. But not only are they fact-checking Jas Crockett, CNN is also fighting with Democrats while asking real questions, which has Uncle Kasie wondering if CNN is finally trying to appeal to normal people in a desperate attempt to save this Titanic from finally sinking. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at Kasie_BTL84. So I get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. As you guys know, I've got young nephews. The oldest is 8, my youngest nephew is 6. Like most young kids, they deal with various skin ailments, psoriasis, eczema, itchy, dry skin. Hell, I'm not a doctor. I'm not qualified to diagnose what the hell it is. I just know it's a nuisance they no longer have to deal with because my sister started using oat and honey soap from Sugar Mountain Trading. This soap is ideal for sensitive skin, offering a gentle yet effective solution for various dermatological issues. Its American-made origins guarantees the highest standards of production. Also comes available with CBD. So, if you're dealing with skin issues and pain, the CBD version take care of both. You'll be pain-free and smelling like fresh raspberries. Hell, that's literally the reason my wife likes to use it. She uses the standard CBD oil for pain, but she prefers the soap because it smells good. Smells like raspberries. Like I said, oat and honey soap. It is available with or without CBD, so become pain-free while smelling fresh today by clicking the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL20. Save 20% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. Earlier this week, we talked about CBS offering the American hero Scott Jennings, "I am a real American." We talked about CBS offering the American hero a lifeboat. Over the last 18 months, Scott Jennings has been given a valiant effort. Scott Jennings has been doing what American heroes do, which is saving the underprivileged. Over the last 18 months, the American hero has been fighting the flusher to keep CNN's ratings from being sucked into the pooper. If you look at the lineup at this network, Andy Cooper, Jake Tapper, Abby Phillip, Laura Coates, Wolf Blitzer, woof, woof, woof. Scott Jennings is the only star at CNN that normal people are willing to watch. Hell, Scott Jennings is the only star at CNN. The American hero became a star by verbally assaulting woke wanker spankers. CNN would set Scott Jennings up with what seemed to be insurmountable odds. Started out 2-on-1, then 3-on-1, then 4 spankers against the American hero. And every time, Scott Jennings would take these toxic mouth farts and he would turn them into a beautiful bouquet of roses. Hell, Scott Jennings is so convincing, he has some of the identifiers at CNN wanting to identify as roses. But credit where credit is due. This formula with Scott Jennings, it's worked. And I'm wondering if CNN has told their woke welfare collectors to emulate the American hero. I'm wondering if CNN has told Jake Tapper, Kaitlan Collins. I'm wondering if they have been told to start challenging Democratic politicians. This week alone, we have seen Jake Tapper, Kasie Hunt, and the girl named Rue combative with the Democrats. As a result, CNN has finally started generating some interest. Outside of Scott Jennings, CNN does not have another star that's capable of generating interest. But in the past 2 or 3 days, we have seen multiple personalities at the network generating headlines by copying the formula of the American hero. Kaitlan Collins was a bit more subtle with her fact check of Jasmine Crockett, and she didn't call out Jazz for intentionally lying. But Jake Tapper and Kasie Hunt, they were not subtle. They were doing what the media is supposed to do. They were asking tough questions, and they were not taking regurgitated talking points for an acceptable answer. Basically, they were doing their job. Watch for yourself.
We heard the press secretary say that his main priority is the ballroom that no one asked for, the ballroom that requires him to destroy historic pieces of the White House.
That context of the comment from Caroline Leavitt, she was asked if the president was working on any other renovations when it came to the White House, and she was saying, his focus was the ballroom.
Should the Democratic senators from New Mexico, your home state, vote to open the government so that these SNAP funds are not at risk?
The administration is choosing to starve American children with money that they already have appropriated.
I'm not applauding
their
tactics.
The White House.
Well,
this is a choice by the White House.
This
they
is
are
also,
choosing
Congresswoman,
to cut
this is
off
also a
food
choice
assistance.
by Senate Democrats
No,
to not
it is
vote to
not.
open the government. Yes, it is.
The
I understand
Senate-
why they're doing it. I understand the reasoning.
Sir, let me just be clear. The money for contingency plans is sitting there. That is why the states are suing. The White House is withholding funds from
2 to 3
children
weeks worth
to
of
have
SNAP funds.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it may not be a big deal to you, but let me
It is
tell
a big
you that
deal to
for
me.
the funds
If you
run
feel
out,
so
and we are
strongly,
fighting
Congresswoman,
to get
why
that
not ask
funding.
the Senate Democrats from New Mexico to vote to open the government?
And in the past, Democrats, when Republicans have tried to do something like this, Democrats have argued that the norms of our government should be that you negotiate policy outside of a government shutdown. Why is it suddenly right to do it this way and to do it for this long when it didn't used to be the right way in Democrats' view?
Oh, that's an easy answer. It's Donald Trump. You're talking about norms in the time of Donald Trump. It's also normal
Right,
now
but
for you to tear
Democrats
down
have
the
spent
East
so much
Wing,
time
and he suddenly
arguing
did
about
it.
how maintaining those norms is actually incredibly important in the face
It's
of
all
Donald
out the
Trump.
window. It's all out the window. 24 million people are going to have their insurance rates premiums doubled. That's a new thing, by the way. And the fact is, the president and everyone expects us to play by these old norms.
Didn't Democrats
when
kind of
people
set
are
that up
going
in the
to-
bill
are-
that you passed, though, that these subsidies were going to expire?
This may seem minor, but this is a clear shift in direction from CNN. I can't remember the last time I have seen someone from CNN applying pressure to Democrats. Now, obviously, I don't watch CNN all day, every day. Hell, I actually don't watch CNN, period. Based on their ratings, neither does anyone else. But this is the first time in a long time where CNN is actually making headlines for the right reasons. Hell, this is the first time in a long time where CNN is actually making headlines. I'm wondering if leadership is driving this change in direction. I'm wondering if CNN has finally realized that blaming everything on the Trumper is not working. Maybe they are realizing that 24 hours a day of Orange Man bad isn't something that people want to watch. If Democrats were smart, they would come to the same realization. Like I told you guys earlier this morning, Zohran Mamdani is not the problem. AOC, LGBT, not the problem. Bernard Sanders, not the problem. This trio of huge embarrassing failures, they are the symptom to the problem. For the better part of 10 years, Democrats have offered no solutions. Their only platform was, Donald Trump is bad, vote for us instead. As a result, the Republican Party is rapidly growing while support for Democrats is rapidly shrinking. But when you have 10 years without a plan, when you have 10 years without a clear direction, it glamorizes someone who comes along and offers an alternative. And in most cases, the alternative is almost always socialism, or even worse, Islamism. Maybe it's not too late to save CNN. If they continue to change directions, maybe CNN can rebound. But I think it's getting too late to save the Democratic Party. Once socialism establishes itself, it is damn near impossible to eradicate it, which is why I have been saying for years, if CNN wants a chance to survive, you have got to eradicate the woke fungus. But with Democrats, they might have to start over completely because they have allowed the radicals to take over, and they're not going to just give the party back to the establishment. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.